Hey guys, welcome to TheRiaya on part 404 for free video editors going into 2017. I'm a little late on this, I'm sorry, I had just real life issues that were going on and had to be sorted through. So, I'm back now, getting this out, and so you can see the best of the best really when it comes to free video editors. When you first load up Davinci Resolve, this is what you're going to be greeted with. If you could use multi-monitor. It's got multi-monitor support, so you can get that set up on. This is what I use, but of course I'm not going to use it here. The directory is on the left side, so you to drag over and change. If you use dual monitor, it'll put it over on the right. Or instead of doing that, you can just go into here yourself. Let's go to the very review thing video, and here's the videos I'm going to be using. I just go to drag and drop down here, and it'll ask if you want to change the frame rate and everything. So you just click change. If this is the way you want to do it, you could go there, or you go to File, Project Settings, and you can really get into the just nitty-gritty stuff. The timeline frame rate you can change in the very beginning unless you dragged and dropped. So it starts out at 24 frames per second, and everything's 24, and you modify it from there. Here it says 1080i 60, which is if you are editing 1080i video footage at 60, and it'll of course put it to progressive 30 frames per second. So if you're wondering about if you really want to change it, you can just set it to 1080p 30 and you're set. Video bit depth you can actually drop down to 8 if you're, say, doing YouTube videos and things, because you're not going to be really doing the 10, but it's not really going to change too much in the grand scheme. So you just save that and click on over to edit. And on the left side again, you've got your videos, your toolbox for actual effects and generators, and then you also have open FX things and audio FX things that you could either download or pay for and purchase to use later on. Like a lot of these things in here I'm going to be talking about is just the free version of Davinci Resolve. Let me load this up. This is a video I did a little while back. I don't know if you anyone watching this saw this, and I edited it up in Davinci Resolve and of course slapped it onto YouTube. And unlike Blender, of course, this has full setup for a preview for in and out points. You can even just drag and move them around yourself, or of course go frame by frame using the arrows on your keyboard. Up and down, yeah, up and down goes straight to the top and bottom. When you're done editing it up, you can just quickly drag, drop onto here. And there you go, you got an easy timeline setup. And just as on the video monitor here, on the timeline itself, if you hit up, it'll go all the way back to the beginning, and down it'll go to the next part itself. Now, it won't go to the very end of the timeline with all the different edits you have on here. It'll go to the end of or beginning of each clip. So for an example here, I'll just drag this over here, go back to 12:14, and there's a 1 second add in here. Now, there are multiple ways of handling like crossfades and such. You could do it on 2 timelines. You could surely have them down side by side. I'll show you both real quick. Like there's a crossfade. It'll add it to the audio and the video. If you only want to add it to one or the other, you could right click on it and unlink the clips. Or you unlink it and then you can select one, and like here, there. These 2 should be linked. Click one. I want to just select one of the other ones instead of selecting all. Like I held down shift and it selected all of them because they're all going across each other. You just hit the one, hold down control, you go grab the other, and then you link those clips together. Now I'll show you the other crossfade. You put it on the same timeline, you move your cursor over like so, and you set a CrossDissolve to exactly how you want, 30 seconds. I just set it above and below because I know that's the exact spots I want them. I mean, obviously you can edit it up to wherever you want the crossfade and everything else beforehand, but just for absolute knowing where it goes, I do it this specific way. There's no point in doing it with both there, so I'll set one right there for the audio. Just switch on over, and there you go. Simple crossfades. It's pretty much the same way with any of the others, like with the transitions. Namely, though, that we have here on the left side. Oh, let's drag the whole. Okay, drag these back together. Middle mouse click on by the mouse wheel will allow you to just click and drag over as such. But we're gonna look at just a couple quick transitions over here. Here, just the general workings of Davinci Resolve, and we'll move on to, I guess, the coloring. I should go over some of the coloring and delivering for the exporting of presets and such. So, like, dip to color dissolve. This will I should switch it. Yeah, switch it over. That's what I thought for the light color, and then switch on over to the next scene. If you click here, you don't see any general edits, so this probably annoy you. I know it would annoy me, but there's a reason for that. Is you need the inspector. This is another reason why a dual monitor setup is very helpful on this. Oops, that was an accident. Alright, click on here. Yeah, you see the transition. It'll align it to however you wish to do it. And then you can choose the first color. If it has a different color transition, you can swap it over here to red. It'll swap over to red, like you can see right there. And there you go. Transition for dip to color. Dissolve is done, and it'll do it however you wish. You don't have to have it on center like it shows here. Or on edit and on edit, so that's to go between the two. That's how set up. Or you just center it right here and keep it like that. You can change the length of it just by clicking and dragging here. So very easy edits and set acrosses for whatever you wish to do with it. So that really covers the basics of transitions. You can add your own titles very easily. Also, just drag it up here wherever you want it. Go here and get an inspector, edit it all up to how you want, from the font family to colors to nice little strokes you could add. If you say you got colors, you know, whites in some areas of the text you're trying to show, so people can still read what's being there, as I usually do on all of my videos. So actually, there's one more thing I should cover. Holding down Alt and mouse scrolling will allow you to zoom in and zoom out quickly enough, or of course you could just change it from here. Now, say I select this and I want the entire thing to move over. All you gotta do is hit delete. There you go. That's great. I mean, but what happens if you're editing something up and you want to select it and you don't want that to move? Well, that's the other thing you do, is cut instead. Control X, it'll cut it out and it'll leave everything where it is. Trust me, you're going to want to use Control X quite a bit, especially if you're editing up videos where you just want to cut it out and keep everything where it is, because you could end up, if you accidentally hit delete instead, moving everything over and maybe not realizing it at first, and but having to redo the whole project. You know, horror moments that I've done. That really covers the timeline. It's not too difficult to set everything up, as you see right here. Oh, no. It's another thing I want to cover. Let's get rid of the inspector here. Media pool. Yeah, there we go. No, that got rid of the pool. Edit index. Yeah, this is showing the index for where different items are and such. Rid of edit index, effects library. Huh. That is actually bothering me. How do I import again? I'm sure you would want to know that too. I don't usually worry about this because I drag and drop, but if you want to add more media to this, there, import media, right there. And it opens it up and you just go find your stuff. So, yeah, okay. That's basics for editing, other than I want to show just if you have like a custom title you're doing or something. So go back to Davinci Resolve here, my logo thing I put on there. Now I'm gonna drag the first one on here and drag the last one on here. Alright, now if you want a video sequence from these, you just select all that you have and drag it onto here. Now you'll see it shows right here 1 to 60. Now also you see as I'm scrolling over it from left to right and so forth, that it'll show you the actual animation. Now how I handle this is just very simplistic for mine. I just go here, set a 1 second, CrossDissolve on, then I drag the animation one and put it on, and at the end of course I slap the final one. I'll go into a little of editing that stuff up too, I guess, then, because it's just nice to know. So if I go here play, it's gonna run slowly with the animation. Now this actually just ran smoothly. How nice. How nice of you, Davinci Resolve. Sometimes it could be a little choppy the first time through. Let's get something like right there, so just a little choppy. So want to edit it up again, inspector, transform it, change the size, and where it was. Now this is something I'm gonna have to get into an issue with this. It'll be one of the cons. So I'll discuss that when I get there, but like if I change that to 0.5, of course you have to change it with all of these then to 0.5 and figure out where you want to place it. Oh, wrong one there. Make sure you got the right one selected where you're gonna edit and move it all, of course. And, you know, I usually have it up. I usually have a 0.25 for the size. Either or, there it is. Quick edit. I change the pitch on it. Or the yaw. Flip it around. And crop and change. This is where we're gonna get into where the issue is. That's, again, not yet. Inspector gone. Really cover the basics on the timeline, getting animation clip set up, it's just easy drag and drops and so forth. And we're gonna move over to color editing. This is the massive thing of what Davinci Resolve is all about, is color grading. Like the very basics is lift, gamma, gain, offset. They have noise reduction. That's not in the free version though. You have to pay for it. But that's one of the only things you have to pay for on here. So you can set up your actual different nodes, alpha output, for if you want to do removal of the specific colors for transparencies, effects on there, or as I stated, just offsetting basics on here to give more contrast and everything. I mean, there's a lot to this, and this is all included in the free version, so it's actually quite crazy how much they've added for this so people could use. Deliver. So you're done with your video, you want to export it and say you want to put on YouTube. Well, that's quite easy. You can just go to H.264. They have a YouTube preset, but it's at 720p, so as always I just manually would do it. You'd set up a high quality export first, and then usually have, again, handbrake do the rest of it. But for the export, just they set it to that. Audio, you can set it to AAC. Highest is 192 for stereo. This is for generally a lot of things. And the file name, after you name it, you thought to add to render, it'll ask you where you want to save it. and it'll slap it over there. Go here, being in. And you just hit start render, and it'll bang the whole thing out. Alright. So that covers the basics of Davinci Resolve. Now, the pros of Davinci Resolve, what would I have to say is the number one greatest thing about it. This is a full professional video editor. I'm just going to straight out state that. It has full hardware acceleration with OpenCL or CUDA, depending on your hardware. It it is not gimped. You can export in full 4K resolution with the free version. You just saw me edit all of this up very quickly. And again, this is all in the free version, full set in and out points for the preview, drag and drop, whatever timelines you want. There are just a few things that you can't do on this. One of them, as I stated before, is noise reduction. And the other one that I could really... Oh, there are two other things I could think of. Noise reduction's one. Two would be no multi-GPU support on the free version, which overall you really probably wouldn't be needing too much. And unless you're really professional editor, but then if you're doing that, I would be expecting you probably be purchasing this. And the third thing is you can't export in higher than 4K resolution. So if you're a media creator on YouTube and such, other than like Linus Tech Tips or one of those massive channels doing those edits and everything else, you're probably not going to be exporting in higher than 4K. You're probably not going to be doing color correction, noise reduction and such, because the color correction and everything, as I showed you again, this is included in the free version. So this is really as good as it gets. I don't know how much more I could really specify or state on it. It's great, it's easy to work with. They've really refined this quite nicely since their first free version with the video editor on it. And they've made it quite awesome. This is version 12.5.4, so I think I haven't seen really update patch notes. That's the biggest problem. That's something that bothers me too in the cons, is I haven't really seen the patch notes for exactly different things, but I believe one of the things they have done is add more export formats over this time. Oh, no, one other con. This is, again, doing it for, like, say, if you're a YouTube editor and you say you use the audio library for YouTube, like I do for the music, you actually need something like Format Factory to convert the audio to WAV format. I'll do a video on that, because this does not, this cannot import MP3s. It has to be as WAV. Should be able to import AAC, I would expect, since it plays AAC audio directly on it. So hopefully that comes out in an update and they're gonna have MP3 support. But it's very simple to get a free converter, like I said, like Format Factory. Just make sure when you install it, you do custom install and don't install the third-party garbage that comes with it, so you don't end up with any crap on your system you don't need. Like I said, I'll cover that in another video, but this really covers everything I'd have to say for Davinci Resolve. This is the best editor out there currently. If you want something absolutely professional, something that will be able to keep up with whatever type of edits you're doing on the computer itself while previewing it in real time, then this is it for you. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, leave a comment below if you have any suggestions or anything to say, and as always, thank you for watching my video, and I hope you come back for more.